everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily, and if this is your first time here, I am 36 years old and I'm working on my journey to be debt-free. So part of this journey includes doing cash stuffings, budget with me, savings challenges, anything money related, you name it, I do it, okay? But this particular video is a special one because I am doing a mini series around my Disney trip. So I am doing a Disney trip next year in August, and I wanted to make sure that it was the best trip for me and my kids. So I am doing everything possible to do my research from now until then, save the money, how I need to save the money. So that way I have everything lined up so that we can have the best time at Disney, right? So this is actually episode 2. If you want to see the first episode that goes into detail about my binder and how I'm saving, etc., I'll link it down below. And you want to subscribe if you want to see the other episodes, because I do have 8 in this little mini series. So today, what we're going to talk about is food, okay? So we're going to talk all things food. For me, besides the ticket and everything, food is probably the one that you need the biggest budget for. You might not think about it at first, but I mean, you have to eat, right? So you have, depending on how many days you're going to be there, you have to plan accordingly. And also depending on how many people are on the trip, because unless you do like an Airbnb, if you're just in a hotel room, it's not like you have a full kitchen. You know what I'm saying? So you have to plan for that. Now, I am going to talk about the other options if you are staying in a place with a kitchen, like an Airbnb, etc. So let's go ahead and go through this first. So if you saw my first episode, my friend Megan does Disney trip planning, and she drafted this whole Disney trip for me because I'm going for 6 days and 5 nights. So I really needed to make sure that I have everything lined up, so that everything goes smoothly. All right. So one of the things that she did was she literally gave me an itinerary on the food. Guys, she gave me all the restaurants, gave me an approximate budget for my party size and everything. So that's what I'm going to go through with you guys. Like I said, it's 6 days. So I'm budgeting about $900 for this trip, right? And I'm going to show you how I'm going to break it down. So the first day is mostly travel. So I live in Florida. I live about 3 hours south of Orlando. So I will be driving. So the first day, part of it is going to be, eating at home as well as like on the road, right before we could check into the hotel. So for that, obviously you have food at home, so you don't really have to worry too much about that. Now, the food that we have on the road is going to be part of my road trip budget. So if you saw my previous video, one of my envelopes, let me see if I can get to it. Here it is. So for my road trip envelope, I think I'm budgeting like $100. So I don't count the food that we have on the road. I'm not counting that in my $900, if that makes sense, right? So this road trip money is for the ride up and the ride back. That's going to cover the food for those 2 trips, the ride up and the ride back. I do have 2 kids. They're going to be ages 7 and 10 by that time. So there's going to be a stop at a rest area. So, so for me, it's going to count for, like, if we stop at, let's say, McDonald's on the way, or, when you get to the rest area to use the bathroom, they're going to want a snack or a drink. So all the money in the road trip envelope is going to cover that. So that's not part of my $900 budget. Now, there's another envelope in here, the daily food envelope. This is where the $900 is going to go. So let me show you how I'm breaking that down, that $900, okay? All right, so the first day, like I said, we're driving. However, by the time we get up there, it's going to be kind of like, I would say like dinner time, close to dinner time. Check-in for the hotel is 3 o'clock. So we want to make sure that we get there, get settled. We probably, have an early lunch. So one of the recommendations she gave was going to Disney Springs. Now, the beauty about Disney Springs, I have my iPad here. You can go to disneysprings.com and you click on Dine. Here we go. Here. And it gives you all the options that there are to eat at Disney Springs. Now, the beauty of Disney Springs, you don't have to pay to go to Disney Springs. It's kind of like an open boardwalk, I guess you can say, right? Where you can go and you can walk. They have shops. They have all kinds of things. It's a very fun, they have live music sometimes. It's a very fun place that's not the park, but you can still, like, you know, explore a little bit. So what I did was I actually went on here and I looked at the places that I wanted to go to. So let's say this chicken guy, right? My kids love chicken, right? So you go over here and it tells you the price range is about $15 and under for an adult. So this is gonna help you plan exactly down to the number how much money you need. So if it's $15 per person, right? And there's 3 of us, that's at least $45 minimum, right? Because I don't believe that includes, I mean, it could include the drinks. Again, it gives you a map of where it is. I mean, you can see the menu, right? This is for the ones that really want to be budgeted and like organized down to the last minute, which is how I am. That's how I am. And I'm pretty sure that as we get closer to the trip, I'll probably revisit this mini series and kind of give you guys my full itinerary, okay? But that's the beauty of this website. So you can go to this chicken guy, right? There's also another one that you can go, it's called Blaze. My kids love pizza, right? This Blaze fast fired pizza is a popular one. You know, again, $15 per adult. So you can go on Disney Springs site and look at all the different options that they have. Now, of course, as you're driving around Orlando, they have, you know, the chain restaurants in the area. So if you didn't want to go out and walk, let's say, you know, you can try one of the local restaurants, or you can order into the hotel. Or if your hotel has a restaurant, you can look at that. Like, there's many options, okay? So what you need to do is just do your research, is what it comes down to. Now, I'm staying at the All-Star Movie Resort, which is, you know, on Disney ground, right? So I know that they have a food court. So a lot of my breakfast is going to be at the hotel. So I can look at their menu and see what they have to offer, so I can budget that way. I can also go to the hotel's website, look at the food court, see what they have, and budget accordingly, you know, ahead of time. So I know, okay, I'm gonna go to this restaurant for breakfast on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you have it already budgeted, right? So what she did was she literally totaled my meals for every day. And I went ahead and did that. Now, what I am going to do in my future videos, so the way that I'm having my Disney Bound breakdown is, today we're talking food, right? Tomorrow is going to be my itinerary. And then every day after is going to be the 3 parks that we're going to. So I'm going to have one day for Magic Kingdom, one day for Hollywood Studios, one day for Animal Kingdom. I'm going to go through what kind of rides, what are the prices, how much is parking. I'm going to go through all the details of each park in case those are the parks you want to go to. Now, what I'm going to do is, what you can do actually is take what I do and do the research for whatever park you want to go to. So if you want to go to Islands of Adventure, you could do the same. If you want to go to Universal Studios, you could do the same thing, right? It's pretty much just having an outline of the park so you know all the ins and outs, right? So with the package that I'm getting, I'm going to have the Genie Plus, which is for the lightning lanes. So I have to see, okay, which rides have the lightning lanes, right? That way I can coordinate and really maximize the time that I have in each park, okay? So the next thing is, the next day, again, the next day we're going to Magic Kingdom. So the restaurants in there, I'm going to go over in our Magic Kingdom video. So I'm not going to go into detail for that. Same with the character breakfast. Now, of course, the character breakfast is going to be a little costly, but I do want my kids to have that experience, right? So the character breakfast we're planning for Saturday, and on the hotel property, they have 2 of them. They have Topolino's Terrace or Chef Mickey. Now, my kids love Mickey Mouse, so my choice was definitely Chef Mickey's. So the reason why I want Chef Mickey's, like I said, my kids love Mickey Mouse, right? And what I did was, again, I went online, right? I went to their website, and you can see Chef Mickey's it tells you where it's located. You can see the menu, which is great. Now, the pricing, I hope you guys can see this because my light is kind of there. for breakfast is $35 to $60 per adult. So it's not going to be the regular $30 breakfast, okay? You're going to have to take this one times 3. But it's worth the experience, you know? My kids are going to enjoy that experience. And I want them to be able to have as much fun as they can. So I felt like, because this particular Saturday, we're not going to any parks. So, but I still want to make it special. So I decided, okay, if I do a character breakfast, you know, that's going to be great. It's going to be fun. They can enjoy it, you know? And I mean, like I said, you guys can go through on their website and look at the menu. And that way, you know, if you want to price it that way, you can. Look, $42 per adult and $27 per child plus tax and gratuity. This is for the family breakfast, right? And it tells you what they have for breakfast. So you can find so much information on the Disney site. It's not even funny. So I highly recommend, if you really want to maximize your time at these parks and on your trip, do your research. You know, you have a whole year. Well, I mean, I don't have a whole year, but I have 8 months. I'm going to say I have 8 months to like really plan this how I want, so that my kids could have the best time of their life. And it's going to be a trip that they're never going to forget. And then once I do it once, you know, I want to be able to do a trip every year with my kids. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. All right. So the next day, again, all the restaurants at the parks, I'm going to go through them when I go to each park, as well as like my itinerary and everything. So I just wanted to show you guys what research you can do to help your food budget, okay? So based on the dollar amounts that she gave me, I went ahead and I added each one. Now, there is a range, okay? 90 to 110. If you didn't watch my first video, I'm going to link her information below. My friend Megan, like I said, she plans Disney trips, and she can give you this full breakdown, right? I went over this in my first video. I mean, she tells me every day the itinerary, how much the hotel is, which I'll be going over in the next video. I mean, everything. She gives you a full breakdown, you know, and it's free of charge, okay? So if you guys want to take advantage of her service, I want to leave her information below. And I highly recommend, you know, just reach out to her, see what she has to offer, see what she gives you. At least it's an outline, and then you can, you know, put them, it's like I said, the bare bones, right? So you can fill it in with everything that you guys want to do. So if we're going to go ahead and add it, right? So she kind of gave a ballpark of the food per day. So what I did was I did my own range, right? So I'm going to budget for the maximum, only because I rather have more money than not enough money. And then I find myself dipping into my other envelopes, like my spending envelope, which, you know, we don't want to do that, because you know, we want to use that for what it's for. So I went ahead and did that. So 110, 260, 240, 170, 190, and then 50, because this last day I'm really just getting breakfast and then we're heading home. So the last day isn't really a full day of food, because you are going to get back home. Now, what you do have to think about, though, is the fact that depending on how long your trip is, you might not have food when you get back home. So you have to keep that in mind, okay? If you're too tired to go shopping, you might need to do a little Instacart. But you have to consider what's going to happen once you're home for that day, especially if it's like you get there early in the day and you know you have dinner, but there's nothing to cook because you cleared your fridge before you left. You know, you might have to order in another day. So maybe you can make that part of your weekly budget, in your normal weekly budget, right? Whatever you put aside for groceries, let's just say. So that totals $10.20. So $10.20 is my maximum. All right. Now, like I said, some of these meals are going to come out of a different envelope, like my road trip envelope. So that's why I only budgeted $900. But you have to do it. And I recommend having the breakdown, you know? So this is the option that I would say if you're staying in a hotel that does not have a kitchen. All right. Now, if you're staying in, like, let's say an extended stay that has a kitchen, or if you're staying in an Airbnb that's more like a townhouse or a family home, you have a kitchen. So a lot of your meals can be made at that house. So what you would do is shift your budget, right? So you would say, all right, I'm going for 5 days. let me take $200 and go buy groceries. So as soon as you get to Orlando, you go to Publix, right? And you buy some groceries. You fill up the kitchen with groceries. So you know that you already have your breakfast and possibly dinner already at home. So the only thing you have to worry about is the food in the park. And at that point, you can do your research for the whatever park you go to and see how much money you're going to need for the park. Also, you want to check if the park allows you to bring snacks. That's one thing that I have to do. I have to look at each park, and I'm going to let you know when I do the breakdown for each park, whether you're allowed to bring food. Some parks allow it, some parks don't. So you want to be prepared for that, because me having 2 little ones, it would be very easy to carry some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and some little bottles of water or some Capri Suns, you know, and put it in a locker. So that way it saves on having to spend $5 on a bottle of water, right? And then maybe you could do like a lunch at the park. So you're going to be saving money on the snacking, and then just have like a meal. You might also want to do like a nice family dinner at a restaurant off-site, or even a restaurant at the resort. You know, if you want to do something fancy, like one night, just have like a nice dinner, you got to budget for that as well. I feel like staying, here's my opinion with the 2 options. I like the All-Star Movie Resort because I want my kids to experience the hotel, right? Right now, we're always home. So going from home to another home, I'm not saying it's going to be the same, but it doesn't feel like you're on a vacation, if that makes sense, right? Because you're staying in a house. It's like a normal house in a normal neighborhood. Granted, it's not the same. It might be a little bigger and offer more, you know, amenities. But I wanted them to experience the whole like atmosphere of a Disney resort, because I myself have never been on a Disney resort. You know, every time I've gone to Disney, I always stay on a hotel off-site somewhere, you know. So again, those are decisions you got to make just depending on what fits your budget. Now, because I am saving $5,000, you know, using my box, definitely gives me more wiggle room with what I wanted to do as far as lodging goes. Again, it varies and it depends on each family. It depends on your budget. You know, if I only had, let's say, $2,000 to spare, then yeah, maybe I'll consider, you know, maybe doing less days, less parks, you know, staying in a hotel, in a Airbnb, which would be a little bit cheaper. You know, there's places where you can cut for sure, but I want the full experience. I am being selfish and I want the full experience. So I'm going with a $5,000 budget. However, I would love to come back with money. You know, I'm not going to go on this trip and just plan on blowing it all, right? It'd be really nice to come back and have money left that I can put towards my vacation for 2023, which I'm planning a cruise for that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And I'll be doing the same mini-series for that. So stay tuned for that next year. But so pretty much this is the breakdown. Like I said, I'm going to leave her information below because I feel like this helped me so much, like plan and coordinate this trip. Just having this outline that she gave me. Right? Because it kind of saved me the time of having to research it, which, like I said, you can definitely do it yourself. You can go online, you know, look up the pricing and everything on your own. But if she's offering this free service, why not? You know, and then you can book it so that you don't have an inflation in the price. Because if you're doing it on your own, you know, it's just different. It's just different. So I felt like, you know what, if I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it right, I'm going to have someone help me do it, someone that knows what they're doing, you know, and yeah, so that's it for today. I hope this helps you guys. I didn't want to go too much into detail with the restaurants because I'm going to be doing that on the dailies coming up in the next couple episodes. So I just wanted to let you guys know how I did the research and how much I'm going to be, you know, doing every day. And then we can go into more detail with everything else on the future videos. So I hope this helped. And if it did, if you enjoyed this video, leave this emoji at the bottom. I mean, in the comments. Leave this emoji in the comments. And I really hope you guys stick around for the future episodes. There's going to be a lot of information, so make sure you come with your pen and paper like you did for the last one. And, you know, we want to make this trip, if you're really serious about, you know, planning a trip for it to be successful, as opposed to just doing it on a whim and just going, you know, without having a plan, then, you know, this is the way to do it. And I hope these videos help someone like it's helped me tremendously. And I know for a fact that when I get back from that trip, I'm going to have so much to tell you guys because I want to be able to tell you how it went, if I stuck to my budget, if I overspent. Like, I want to be able to give you guys even more tips so that if I made any errors in my planning, you can correct it in your planning, you know? So that's the whole point of this mini series. I just want to be able to help you guys like it's helped me, and, you know, make the best out of this trip. It's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. My kids are so excited. So on that note, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and become part of the family. We have a lot to talk about coming in these upcoming videos. This is day 6 of Vlogmas with a twist. If you don't know what Vlogmas is, pretty much I post a video every day for 25 days up until Christmas. So that includes budgeting videos. I'm gonna have day in the life videos. I mean, there's a lot coming. So if you want to stick around and check it out, please subscribe, like this video, and if you have any questions at the end of the series, we are doing a Q&A with my friend Megan. So if you have any questions about anything, leave it in the comments, and then we can revisit that when we get that Q&A video out. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.